Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Gyan Bhakti. We focus exclusively on spirituality, Vedanta, and Sanatana Dharma. Please subscribe our channel for mystical meanings of these scriptures and daily satsang. Our humble prostrations to all-pervading Brahman or God, our worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayananda Ji Maharaj, all sages and scriptures, and to the divinity in each of you. We are currently exploring the scripture Mysticism of Mahabharata. Commentaries by Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda Ji and narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. We are currently exploring Bhishma Parma, and today's episode is the disabling of Bhishma. At the beginning of the battle, Bhishma was appointed general of the Kaurava army. Although his deeper sentiments at all times flowed towards the victory of the Pandavas, this did not interfere with the performance of his duty to the Kauravas. Day by day, due to his incomparable martial skill, the Pandavas suffered tremendous losses. Arjuna's lingering attachment towards Bhishma, on the other hand, tended to weaken his military performance. On two occasions, Krishna saw that this attachment was preventing Arjuna from using his full powers against the great warrior. To awaken his sense of duty, at one time Krishna himself jumped down from the chariot and rushed towards Bhishma with his mighty discus. At another time he rushed towards Bhishma with a whip in his hand, pretending to abandon his pledge of not taking up arms in the battle. And all these tactics were to convince Arjuna that he was not fulfilling his duty. Each time this happened, Bhishma welcomed the apparent attack of Krishna with all the devotion that filled his heart, eager to meet his death at the hands of his beloved Lord. This response of Bhishma to Krishna has been cited as an example of Shant Bhav, the divine sentiment of one whose heart is filled with divine love, but who gives that love to without easily recognizable outward expression. So it was all internal for him. Before Krishna could even reach Bhishma, however, Arjuna realized that it was his duty alone to conquer that mighty warrior, and he stopped Krishna from abandoning his vow, which was the whole point why Krishna did it to begin with. After 9 days of intense fighting, while the Pandavas sat discussing their battle strategy, they remembered the words Bhishma had uttered just before the commencement of the battle. At that time, Bhishma had blessed them and said that when the moment was right, he would give them the secret of disabling him. So they decided to go that night to the camp of Bhishma and ask for that secret. It may seem surprising to the modern reader that warriors would plan a social visit to the enemy camp with the intention of holding a relaxed conversation with the enemy general about how they could most easily defeat him. However strange as this may seem, it made complete sense in the era and setting of Mahabharata. In those days, particularly in the beginning stage of the Mahabharata battle, there were ethical laws that were strictly followed. Although the battle raged ceaselessly during the day and opponents were ready to kill each other at any moment, during the night, enemies and friends became one, forgetting their animosity and conversing in a normal manner. Furthermore, fighting was considered a duty for the Kshatriya men, warrior men, and often it was not due to an innate grudge against anyone. And so Yudhishthira and his brothers walked into the Kaurava camp and no one stopped them. Then they entered Bhishma's quarters and bowed at his feet. And Bhishma blessed them, saying, "Where there is dharma, there is victory, and you are going to be victorious. Yato dharma, tato jaya." But grandfather Yudhishthira asked, "How can I attain victory as long as you continue to mow down our soldiers day by day?" Bhishma replied, "It is true that as long as I have a weapon in my hand, there is no force in the whole world except Krishna that can defeat me. However, if a woman were to try to fight with me, then I would not use my weapon against her. At that time, you would be able to disable me." Having given the Pandavas the secret information, Bhishma explained its meaning further by recounting the story of how the vengeance of Princess Amba had pursued him through 2 of her incarnations. First, she committed suicide and took a pledge that she would be born again to kill Bhishma. And in her second birth, she was born as Shikhandi. And so, although she felt like a man, Bhishma knew her secrets. And he knew that inwardly she was a woman, so he refused to fight Shikhandi. As you recall, early in the Mahabharata, Bhishma had strode into a Swayamvara, which is marriage by choice ceremony, and carried away three princesses, Amba, Ambika, and Ambalika, in order for them to become queens of his half-brother, Vichitravirya. After being brought to Hastinapur, Amba had informed Bhishma that she had already mentally pledged herself to another king. She loved him. Immediately, Bhishma had the princess escorted back with great courtesy, but that king refused to accept her because she had been won by someone else. Amba then returned to Hastinapur requesting that she be married to Bhishma or his brother, but Bhishma told her that that was no longer possible. So with this, we conclude the satsang for today, and we will continue this episode tomorrow. Hari Om Tat Sat.